Hello and welcome to Life with Francie podcast. It's a place where you can find all kinds of conversation like mental health, self-care, self-love, trauma, hobbies, and more. With this podcast, I want to create a place where we support one another to get to the next level in personal and business life. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, let's get the show started. On this episode, I have the pleasure of talking to Gabby. We found each other through Woman in Podcasting Facebook group, a great resource for podcaster and for people that want to be guests on podcasts. But now, without further ado, welcome Gabby. Hi, Gabby. Welcome to the show. So,
Hey,
what is life with
Francie.
Gabby?
Oh, hey, Francie. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm so excited to share what I do with your audience and inspire people to connect to themselves and to feel more love towards themselves. So what I do is, my name is Gabby Jockers, and I'm the owner of Embodied Art Boudoir. And I'm a boudoir photographer based right outside Denver, Colorado. And what makes my boudoir photography a little bit different than basically what you'll find anywhere else is that for me, it's more than just a sexy photo shoot. It's about an opportunity to connect to your body and to see your body in a new light, to reset your body image. So I use a lot of practices that I learned from my career and my time in yoga as somebody who trained as a yoga teacher and then implemented like yoga principles through my own life, different embodiment practices like postures, like breathing, like meditation. I incorporate intention setting, all those things. I incorporate them into the boudoir photography experience. So it's not just you show up, you take off your clothes, you get a photo shoot, and you bounce. I'm sending you stuff from when you sign up to like weeks and weeks leading up to your photo shoot that will help you connect deeper to yourself, set a powerful intention, and leave this experience not just thinking, oh, that was a cool photo shoot, but like, wow, I feel completely different about myself. I feel different about my body. I feel more acceptance and love. And I'm not so stuck in what I used to look like, but I'm loving how I look right now. I feel connected to my heart, my soul, and my body, and feeling way more full and grounded. So that's what I'm all about.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And that's why I couldn't even write a description about
I
you
know.
because I knew I was not going to give it justice. I was like, nah, let her explain herself because what she does, it's so amazing. You are blowing my mind. Yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, so I realized that after I've been in the yoga world and practicing yoga myself for over 10 years now, and through that practice, I went from totally disconnected from my own body and my own physical experience. Like, you could ask me like, how do you feel? And I would be like, I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. Um, I just had no awareness of my own body. And for that reason, I didn't really feel that comfortable in it. I didn't feel that confident in how I looked because I was just like, meh, what is this flesh bag? Whatever. And through the practices that I learned, practicing yoga for very long, um, after a few years, I started to see changes. I started to feel my feelings more. I started to feel more connected to my soul and to my purpose. I started to feel more real in my relationships and more real in how I present myself to the world and to the people that I'm close with. And I realized then that these were practices that were, yoga can be a lot about enlightenment, and it's kind of like people think of yoga and Buddhism, it's about enlightenment and transcending this body and transcending the world, and that could be it for some people. But what I learned is that if you even want to get to that stage, you have to get into your body first. And so there's that side, and then there's the photography side, where I saw, even before I intentionally combined the two, how this kind of photographic experience for an individual, especially women, because I work with mostly women, this kind of photographic experience where you're basically given permission to like flaunt it. You're given permission to take off the clothes, to stop hiding, to feel sexual, to feel sensual, to feel proud of how you look. That is the purpose of this. You're given permission to feel good about how you look, and combining that with practices that help get you out of your head and into your body, those breath work, that meditation, all that kind of good stuff, intention setting, all of that, it makes the experience so much more powerful. And one thing that I find really beautiful about this is, yes, the photo shoot experience with all these elements combined can be incredible, amazing, and powerful. But even if you just take some of them, like, I'm in Denver, you might be in like Florida or Alaska or Indonesia or somewhere really far away. And maybe you're like, oh, I can't do that boudoir photo shoot. But there are, you don't have to do a boudoir photo shoot to feel more at home in your body. There's things that you can do, even if it's just deep breathing, because so many of us hold our breaths when we're nervous. Like, our breath is a reflection of how we feel. If you feel scared, you might hold your breath or tense up. If you're in a car and you get like really close to an accident, what happens? You hold your breath, right? And when we're holding our breath, we're like, really, we're not feeling our body. So for any of your listeners, can do any time at all, is just breathe really deep into your belly and just feel yourself breathing. And when you're just paying attention to how it feels, you don't have to think about it or judge it or be like, like, honestly, unbutton your pants if you need to not judge yourself for pushing against the edge of your pants. Like, there's so many things about our own clothes that make us feel insecure. I swear to God, I unbutton my pants every time I sit down. I'm like, I'm not about this being made to feel uncomfortable. So something your listeners could do anytime to feel more comfortable and at home in their body is make sure you don't have like tight waistbands around your belly, and then take deep breaths and just feel your belly rise and fall, feel your chest rise and fall. Just to feel what breathing feels like. And that itself can be so impactful and so helpful for people to just feel more comfortable and more confident in their bodies.
And how do we start with that? Because, like, for me, that's a new journey.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm on a new journey of loving myself and everything, but my mentor and we're still having a problem with coming back to my body. I
Mm-hmm.
am so detached from my body. It's not even funny. So I don't even know where to start on that one.
That's why breathing, that's all you have to do to start. Breathe deep. So we can do this right now, really
Let's do
quickly.
this.
And if you're whoever's listening, if you're driving, you don't really do
Yeah.
this. Or if you're like chopping vegetables with a sharp knife, put it down first. So try to make sure physically that it's like a safe way for you to close your eyes. Some people, when you close your eyes, your mind just like gets kicked into a flurry and you can't help but thinking a million things. Your brain goes into overdrive. If that's you, don't close your eyes. Find something in front of you. Like, if the desk is in front of you, or your lap, like looking at your knees or the ground, depending on how you're sitting, just look down at something that won't distract you. Okay.
Okay.
So close your eyes, or if closing your eyes is very distracting, look down at something that won't distract you, that doesn't have a lot of patterns or moving things. And then when you're there, you can again check in if you have like, if you're wearing a pair of jeans and it feels like really tight, like you can't take a deep breath in, or if you're wearing a really tight bra and you're in a place where you can like unhook it for a few minutes, unbutton your pants for a few minutes, do that. Get comfortable. So like shift around a little bit. You can wiggle your body a little bit just to start getting comfortable, and find a seat that you can feel okay in. And as you're finding that comfortable spot, you'll just start paying attention to your breathing. So you might notice it's like pretty short. You might feel just a short, like, in your chest. So just notice how it feels now. You might start noticing other parts of your body too. You might feel like, oh, my shoulders feel really tight, or like I'm holding my hands in a fist, or I'm clenching my teeth. If you feel any of those things, when you notice them, just go ahead and let go. You can actually, if it's hard to let go, you can squeeze extra hard and then let go, squeeze and relax. So you can try that too. Just doing a feel for like what's popping out at you, what's standing to attention in your body, and just wiggling around a little bit if you need to release it, to relax it. And you might not relax it, and that's okay. That's something to notice and not to judge. So now I want you to make your breath more deep. So if you've been breathing light and shallow in your chest, you might start breathing into your belly. This is where unbuttoning those jeans comes in. So taking deep breaths into your belly and feeling okay with it bulging. Your belly is going to bulge when you take a deep breath in it, no matter what your size. So just feel okay with that. It's fine. Nobody's watching you. It's totally okay. Just take a deep breath in and let your jaw relax and sigh it out. Just feeling those breaths get a little bit deeper, a little bit longer each time. You can count if that makes it easier for you. I count because it gives my brain something to hold on to and to not get distracted, because I get distracted very easily. So I can count in my head like 1, 2, 3, 4 on the inhale, and then hold for just a moment at the top and sigh it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, saying that in your head, trying to keep the cadence equal. Breathing in, maybe next time you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for a moment, and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just keep on breathing like that. Keeping the inhale and the exhale roughly equal in length. If you're counting, if not, let it be as natural as you can. If counting doesn't work for you, you can also focus on one of the physical sensations of breathing. So some people like to feel the breath moving over the top of their lip and the outsides of their nostrils as it enters the air moving against your skin as it enters your body. Some people feel it in the back of the nose. They can feel the air brush over the back of their nostrils and the back of their nose on that inhale. Some people can feel it in the throat. Some people feel it in the expansion of the belly, the side ribs, the chest. So whether it's counting or one of the physical sensations of your body, whichever one is most obvious for you, just pay attention to that one. There's a million options because there's an option that works for anyone.
I love it. I love it. I can feel like my even like calming myself. I started the interview like so nervous and everything else. So like I appreciate this. He has calmed my nervous system.
It feels good. Now imagine doing that before, and we do more than that, but imagine doing that before you're like stripping down to your underwear to take some photos.
It's so crazy. I just went to a retreat and she had us get naked.
Oh, cool.
And in front of other people.
So scary.
Okay. But it
must have been frightening.
Oh my God, yes. One of them was like, oh, I was ready for this life. While the other two, including me, was like, oh man. But it was like a quick practice of just coming back to our bodies.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about trauma, and like when you add trauma, like you really detach from everything and anything because you're in survival mode.
Yeah.
So I'm so interested about this Photoshop photo session, because this is not anything for like sexy to be for like a man or anything like that. It's for you. So that's like life changing.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that there's no shame or judgment if you do want to give your partner or a man some boudoir photos, like an album. A lot of my clients do that. And a lot of the times they come in saying, oh, I want to get my partner a Christmas present or an anniversary or a wedding present. And a lot of times we're sitting there at the end and they're like, I did not realize this was going to be such a gift to myself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can see how somebody will come to you like, yeah, that's a great idea for my partner.
Yeah.
And then coming and be like, oh, wow, this was life changing.
Yeah.
Because once again, it's not nothing wrong with it, but getting the sexy out, because just of the, I don't know if I'm trying to explain myself right, but like society, you don't feel sexy because society tells you that you're not sexy.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're coming to your body and doing the embodiment to do the photo, I just, oh my God, I'm
It
living
really
the
works.
experience and I'm not even taking the photos.
I think I know what you're saying, that there are a lot of women who come to me and say, my body isn't like the kind of body on magazine covers. And it's hard for me to feel sexy when I don't feel like the world considers me to be sexy. And to that, I just say, fuck the world. Like, seriously, who
I love
fucking
it.
cares about them? They can
Yeah.
suck it. Like, seriously, the only opinion that matters, that should matter to you, is your own. As far as your body goes, like, your body doesn't belong to anybody else. You're the owner of your body. You deserve to feel beautiful in your body, no matter what your body looks like. I think that's what makes me perfect for this job, is because I truly see every body as beautiful. I look at each body and see the beautiful humanity in it, and see that it is a gift to be alive and to have a body. So many people, don't.
Yeah.
And it happens to everyone at the end. We're all gonna die, blah blah blah. But it is such a gift to have it while we have it, and it will do so much for our hearts and for our confidence levels and for the way that we show up in the world and go after for what we want, how we show up in our relationships, when we can stop fighting against our bodies and just accept them and love them. And it's, of course, it sounds easier than it is, right? It takes practice. That's why what I do is not just focus on the boudoir photo shoot itself. That's why I've recognized that, like, the time in between the shoot and the time after the shoot is also important. So I'm communicating to my clients the whole way and helping them set themselves up on that journey to see themselves as beautiful and to reset that image in their head that they have, so that they can look at their body right now and be like, damn, I'm hot, or I feel good, or I feel like I can be sexual without it being weird. So there's so much to unpack there. And there's just so much, like, every woman can relate to being told that she's not good enough or too much, right? You're
Yeah.
not enough or you're too much. Says who?
I know. I know.
Says who? Says
I
people who don't have
know.
your best interests at heart.
Yeah. So anything else that you want to like promote, or where can my
Well,
followers find you?
oh yeah. So, actually, there was one more thing I wanted to say. Is that
Yeah, go
okay?
ahead, girl. This is your
Okay, awesome.
time.
Earlier, when when we did that breathing, you mentioned, wow, I feel so relaxed, and I was so nervous beforehand. And I just like to point out a fun little fact. I don't know if this is fun for everyone, but I know you also talk about trauma on this podcast, so it kind of ties into the topic. So some people have probably heard of, the nervous system. There's two parts. There's the sympathetic nervous system and there's the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic is fight or flight. So it's that stress mode, right? That part of your body is activated when there's a threat. It's that evolutionary threat radar. When we were cavemen and hunting saber-toothed tigers and they showed up near us, that would activate the sympathetic nervous system. Your body saying, uh-oh, there's a threat. That's kind of what happens with trauma too, right? Your body saying, uh-oh, there's a threat, and your body gets stuck in that state. It happens a lot in modern life with stress from work and stress from our jobs and stress from our families and stress from all the commitments that we have. All that stress, that's all the sympathetic nervous system being activated. And when it is activated, your body is not working at peak condition. The parasympathetic nervous system, which is the other side of this nervous system situation, is called rest and digest. So that is the state our nervous system is in when we are not facing an immediate threat. And so what you did when you breathe deeply into your body, and when you breathe into your belly, which stimulates your diaphragm, that big breathing muscle underneath your lungs, when you breathe deep into your body, into your belly, and into your diaphragm, it helps signal to your nervous system, you don't have to be stressed right now. You don't have to be sympathetic nervous system activated. You can relax. So it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what the state that the body needs to process at peak mental condition, digest, and do a bunch of other functions. So that's why you felt so much better after breathing, because you literally turned your stress off and you turned your
Wow.
body into calm mode. This is a practice that is so useful for people who are in high stress lives or jobs, who have, a lot of family to take care of and a lot of obligations, and you're feeling stressed. By deep breathing, and you don't need a very long time. You don't need to sit down for an hour or 30 minutes. It can literally be like 5 minutes, like we did earlier. Deep breathing for just a few minutes helps you turn that stress off so your body can actually do what it needs to do to keep you alive and thriving. It goes into the mental and the physical.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that. As a person that deals with anxiety, and I just got diagnosed with moderate severe anxiety. That is so helpful. And I have anxiety survival kit, and
Mm.
the first thing is breathing.
There you
But
go.
the thing is that when you are reactive, you're not like, you forget to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. So the practice
So
is
it's
remember
just
to breathe.
stopping. It's like
Yeah.
making it intentional, because I do,
Mm-hmm.
I will get the feeling and then start breathing, but I'm just like a chop thing. Okay,
Yep.
I'm breathing. So, okay, I'm self-aware that I need to change my breathing. Okay, I changed my breathing. Now let's go.
But if that's your mind, did you really change your breathing? Did you really breathe deep into your belly and into your diaphragm and expand and pause and turn your brain off from like spiraling to paying attention to what it feels like?
Yeah, nope, I didn't.
No.
So it's awesome like doing it this way with you, because it was intentional and it lasted more than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't have to last like 10, 15, 30, 60 minutes, but just like 2 whole minutes. This is great for, I remember when I was first learning these things, I wouldn't, in the beginning, I definitely didn't remember to do it in the moment. I for sure didn't. When I was in the beginning of learning, I would just be panicking and going crazy. And then I would go to yoga class and I would breathe that way in yoga class. So it's my scheduled breathing, right? And then as I practiced more and more and more, I remembered sooner and sooner. So I might like deep breathe like later after it happened. And then eventually it catches up to you, as you practice, it becomes more automatic and instinctual. So now when I'm feeling panic and when I'm feeling anxiety and my mind is spinning, then it's easier for me now after practicing for a while to remember to breathe in the moment. So I don't want anyone to feel bad that they can't, like, I don't want you to feel bad, Francie, that like, oh, you didn't remember to breathe proper in the moment, even though you looked at the thingy and the piece of paper said breathe, and you're like, okay, I breathe. Okay, fine. Like, don't feel bad about that. It's okay. What you can do is start reminding yourself that this practice is available to yourself by scheduling your practice out. So you might try deep breathing just for a couple minutes before going to bed. And you might find that your quality of sleep improves, especially if you have anxiety. Your mind probably goes insane when you're sleeping, right?
oh yeah.
So if you do a little bit of deep breathing before sleeping, it can help you rest into sleep a little bit more. And then if you can make like a daily habit of just like a couple of minutes of deep breathing before bed, then you'll start remembering this is an option for you, and your body will kind of like remember that this is an option for you when you need it. So just give yourself some slack. Don't expect like an overnight transformation in your entire habitual structure. Just start small. Start with just a couple of minutes before bed, or when you wake up in the morning, or when you're whenever you remember, just do it then. And the more you practice, the more your body will like remember what it feels like and
Mhm.
will want it when you need it most.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So how can people work with you?
Yes. So I actually have breath work is a big part of what I do. And I actually include it as one of the tips in my new free confident posing guide. So while I'm a photographer, you might not be located in Colorado. You might need more time. You might want to get a taste of like how, like, you might just not like being in front of the camera. So the first thing to do might be to help you feel a little bit more confident in front of the camera. Because some people think, I can't sign up for a boudoir photo shoot because I would be so nervous. So I created a free confident posing guide for you to understand 4 super duper simple tips, posing tips that anyone can do, that you can try next time you're at, like, if you're a guest at a wedding, or if you go to a party and a picture gets taken, and if you're used to seeing that picture and thinking, oh my God, ugh, right? These tips will help you look at that picture and be like, oh, hot damn. So it's super simple. And the 4th tip in the guide is to breathe. Because if you're there standing, maybe you have your arm around your friend or your partner, you're at a wedding, the picture is being taken. And if you just, right before the picture gets taken, take a deep breath and exhale out. And as you exhale, you can like smile more naturally. And then you lean in towards the camera. Those are 2 of the tips: to exhale while you smile and to lean into the camera. I swear this will totally change how you feel about looking at yourself in any kind of photo.
Oh my God, now I can't wait to take pictures.
Yes. So I'll send you the link, Francie, so you can put it in the description, the show notes. Yeah. I'll send you that link. And then my website is embodiedartboudoir.com. Embodied Art Boudoir. Boudoir is a really hard word to spell for a lot of people because it's a French word. It took me practice to start spelling it right. And that's like literally my business. It's Boudoir. Boudoir. And I'll also send you that link so that you could put it in the podcast, because like, who knows how to spell that? It's like the hardest word.
How did you come up with the name?
Sorry, what's that?
How did you come up with the name?
Oh, that's a fun story. I actually was journaling on my values and how my values were tied to my purpose and how that was tied to my business. And then I did a meditation, just sitting there and breathing basically for 20 minutes, and it popped up into my head out of nowhere, Embodied Art Boudoir. And I was like, there we go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great story. I'm not a good namer otherwise. Like, I don't have any pets because I don't know what I would name them, like I'm terrible with names. So this was truly meant to be, and it's very much tied into my heart and my purpose in this work.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you, Francie. It's been amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. Her links and everything will be in the show notes. Have a blessed day.